Check 1 2 1 2. Hello, everybody out there. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream here. I think we're live. Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah. Cool, man. Well, I'm going to play a little bit for you guys while this thing gets going. If I can find my guitar pick. A classic struggle of all musicians, or guitar players at least, is finding the guitar pick. I don't know about you guys, but I do laundry like once a week or so. And leading up to that, I just I have no guitar picks, and then on laundry day, I find them all. And suddenly I have so many. So, hello everyone, and I'm going to just play a little bit for you guys. It's the first time I've played acoustic on here, so let me know if the sound's okay. Oh, probably should point the microphone at the guitar, shouldn't I? How's it now, guys? Check 1 2. There we go. Cool. So I was playing that song purely because I need to play it at my gig in an hour, and I just learned it last night, and I was trying to refresh how it goes. So I might have to listen to that at some point to make sure I can remember how to play that, because I kind of forget. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another live stream. So I hope everything sounds all right for you guys. It looks good on my end. Maybe it's a little loud on the guitar. I don't know, but hopefully it sounds all right. I got to keep this a little bit short today because, as you can read in the description, I need to go and play a wedding that starts at 6:30, and right now it's 4:45. So I'm going to probably stick around here for another half hour. 40 minutes at the most, and then I got to drive 45 minutes to a place called Niverville, Manitoba. So, anyway, guys, welcome back. Feel free to hit me up with those questions, and I'm going to try to respond to as many of you guys as possible. All right, someone asked, what time is it in Canada? It depends on where you are in Canada. It's a very large country. The time zone on the West Coast is Mountain Time. That's 2 hours behind where I am. And then you can go all the way to the other side, and I believe that's like 2 hours ahead. So, I don't know, maybe there's like in total 4 hour difference between parts of Canada. I could be wrong with that, but that's my best guess. Who's texting me there? Someone says, is it worth learning sheet music, or are tabs fine? Tabs... So here's my opinion on this. You're better off, forget both of those. Use your ear to learn music. It also depends on what you're doing. I would say tabs is kind of, there's a place for tabs, but I would try to avoid them as much as possible. Tabs are a cop-out. If you can use your ear the way that people used to do it back in the day when you just listen to a record over and over again, it's going to improve your ear. There's so many guitar players in this generation, myself being one of those ones, whose ears are highly underdeveloped. When I went to university and we started doing ear training and I started doing music seriously, I realized that my ear, I hadn't had to train my ear because I would just cheat and use a tab when I wanted to learn a song. So it took me a while of really focusing on working on my ear, improving my ear training to get it caught back up. If you want, learning sheet music is great. Learning how to read music is great. It depends on what you want to do. If you're going to play in like a bigger orchestra, if you're going to be playing like Broadway type things, musicals, anything like that, you need to be able to read music. In my world, I have never played a gig, I think, that required me to read music. So for me, I've had to do it very rarely, and I kind of suck at sight reading, but I can do a chord chart pretty well. So I would say if you should be able to read, at least understand how to read music. You probably won't get something put in front of you that just says play these notes as is, but if you can understand how a sheet works, like if it says, okay, here's a repeat, if you know how all those symbols work, it's really going to be beneficial to you. Somebody said something about Manitoba in there. Can you sing something about how depressing it is to live in Manitoba? I like living in Manitoba, so... No, I couldn't. You'd have to ask the Weakerthans. They have a song called I Hate Winnipeg, which is if you're a Winnipegger, you get it. And it's a weird little love song to Winnipeg, even though it's called I Hate Winnipeg. Every place you live in is what you make of it, assuming you don't live in like some horrible war-torn country. I like living here because all my friends live here, my family all lives here. I haven't always liked to live here, but you make the best of your situations, and that's what I believe. Jan Simanek. Sorry, man, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. There's a lot of umlauts and accents. He has to go to apply for a summer job tomorrow, and I have to get up early. Why am I here? I don't know, man. Leave. Go. There's more important things than watching me do these streams. But you can also stick around, and that would make me happy. Leandro Diaz Papa says, hey, I've been playing for about 3 years now, and I've improved drastically every year. I don't know theory, and I want to start creating and recording. Do you have any tips? It's great to learn theory. As far as like starting to create recording, it's you just do it. Go and get a recording system, or at least like maybe like a decent microphone and a something that can hook it up to your computer, and just start doing it, and you'll learn a ton along the way. Mojo Penguin, thank you for watching, man. Just a quick shout out to thank you for your Just Don't Be So Serious. I'm a serious guy. Can't help it. Can you talk about what did you have to do to know when you applied? What did you have to know when... Okay, how do you apply for a music center job, says Jan Kessler. I would say you need to go in there and start developing a relationship with the people. Hang out, talk to them. I don't know how old you are. I was 16 when I started working in the music store. But what I did, I just went in there and I was like, hey, can I just like hang around the store and maybe help do some stuff? And like, you don't even have to pay me for it. And I was just like stocking the shelves, just like hanging out, being around a music store. To me, that was the coolest thing in the world. And then eventually was doing that and just like hanging out and like restringing guitars and stocking, like essentially like doing like some menial tasks for like a couple hours and just not getting paid for it. And then eventually I was like, hey, can I get a job here? And then the guy was like, the manager was like, yeah, you've proven to us that you're valuable and you're a good employee. And so that's what I did. Worked for me. I was there for quite a while. It was pretty fun. Somebody asked me about talking about my guitars. And this chat, I really don't like this chat system. And it, like whenever I try to browse, it just like jumps around a bit. Zakir asked, how did I manage to afford all my gears and guitar before you got famous and started making YouTube money? Was it a struggle? Zakir, I would say I've made a video about all my gear, and I talk about how I've acquired everything that I own. And like for the most part, like, first of all, I acquired all this stuff over a long, long period of time. 15 years. And most of the stuff like I was able to acquire because I got them for insanely good prices, or I would sell something, buy something, sell something, buy something, and just like slowly, whatever I would sell it for more than I bought it for. And so that kind of opened up some doors. I mean, I don't buy a ton of gear. I just like whatever I get, I keep, and I try to invest in good stuff so I don't have to replace it. I actually, since doing YouTube stuff, I haven't bought a single guitar. Maybe my pedal steel, if that counts. But no, I haven't bought a guitar for a long period of time. I would just say invest in things that are good. So, because if you buy something and then sell something that's not of high value, you're going to always lose money. But if you can like if you have an eye for picking up some of the things that you think are worth more and you can sell them for more, then it can be very valuable. Wallace Bean says, good luck with the gig. Thanks, man. It's a wedding, and I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna need to listen to that song. I need to learn again because I just learned it last night. And I can't really remember how it goes that well. I could fake it though if I needed to. It's also just a rehearsal. The actual wedding's on Monday, I think. What do I think about roundbacks, like ovations? If you like them, good for you. Not for me. I wouldn't have any interest in ever buying one, I don't think. I don't like the way they sound. I don't like the way they look. I'm a little bit of a traditionalist when it comes to acoustic guitars. Play a major 7, please, says Matt Stevenson. Sure, man. There's a major 7 chord. Just for you, my friend. Mojo Penguin says, curious to know if you come up with songs when you pick up your acoustic, your electric guitar, or both. I think like for the most part, whenever I sit down to play, I very rarely like play a song that I've like learned before. I'll just kind of mess around and have fun with it. And so maybe I'll do some of that for you. I'm gonna stick my capo on the 4th fret and just kind of make something up. And this is kind of what I often do when I sit down with a guitar. Yeah, just kind of having some fun, messing around with some chords, doing my thing. All right, more time for some more comments. Okay, I'm browsing down here. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Film the gig tonight. I am not going to do that. It's a girl's wedding. I have a feeling it'll be a very it would be quite odd if I filmed her wedding. So, I think this is probably going to be the last wedding I play as well. I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't love playing weddings. I think this will be the last one I do. I took this gig quite a while ago before I had kind of had some more options in my life. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, here's a gig, got to take it, need some money. Whereas now I have some more options and some more of a cushion to be a little bit more selective. So I don't think I'll be doing these types of things anymore, but gotta stick to my commitments. What's the worst gig you've ever played? Says Honey Monster. 2 come to mind. Yeah. 2 come to mind. First one was playing jazz music with the leader of the band. I think his mom was putting on some sort of gala for some sort of, I don't know, some sort of event. And so she got her son, who was a saxophone player, who I played in another band with, to play jazz standards the whole time. Problem was, the guy, he's a great writer, but not the best saxophone player in the world. And he also doesn't play jazz at all. And so, and for me, I don't really consider myself much of a jazz player. I can play jazz if I'm in a situation where I can kind of lean on everybody else, but I can't lead that situation because just that's not my preferred style. And so and that was kind of the same situation for the drummer. The piano player and bass player were actually quite good, but it was just one of those situations where the music wasn't good. We were struggling to get through songs. He just straight up said, I don't know any of these songs. I'm just going to make noise and wing it. So it sounded really rough. The other one, I think I mentioned this one sometime in one of my videos, but I was playing another gig. I had been hired to replace the guitar player for a band, kind of a ska type reggae band. And I didn't realize that the guitar player who I was replacing, he was the musical director. He was the guy who was basically leading this band. I didn't know this. So when I stepped in, everybody was kind of looking to me to fulfill this role. And I don't even know the songs that well. I'm trying to wing it a little bit. And these people are trying to lean on me. So we played our first gig. There were parts where it was like as close as I've had it come to like grinding to an absolute halt as it's ever been. Those were rough. I'd like to hear about your worst gig though, there, Honey Monster. Harlaf, thank you for stopping by, man. I'm glad you were able to swing by. Jan Kessler says what I should do is stop in the middle of the ceremony and start talking about triads and other stuff. I have a feeling it's going to be a really religious ceremony. But maybe I'll talk about how the tritone was traditionally known as the devil's interval. Master H. Wilson says, how do my parents feel about YouTube? Lots of love from Toronto. Man, lots of love right back. I love Toronto. Toronto is my home away from home. That's where I did my music degree. I lived there for 5 years. I visit there fairly frequently. Got a lot of friends there. I love Toronto. Very Toronto. Only people from outside of Toronto call it Toronto. So I love Toronto very deeply. The 6 is my home away from home. My parents are thrilled about my YouTubing. In fact, they're probably watching this right now. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad, if you guys are streaming it. My dad is super keen on it. Every time I release a new video, he always talks to me about it, and we'll reference my videos whenever I go over to their place, and it makes me it feels great. My mom is always super keen as well. She shows her friends and whatnot, and it's fun. It's fun to have a family who's behind what you do. It means a ton to me, and I wouldn't be where I am without them. Borat, what's my favorite South Park episode? Oh man, that's so hard. I actually rewatched like 8 seasons fairly recently. I started like season 12 and started watching. I don't know, maybe the one where Cartman turns Scott Tenorman's parents into a chili and feeds them to him. That's one of those darkly wonderful episodes where I feel like Cartman turned from just being a little bit of a annoying bratty kid into a bona fide evil psychopath, and I'm always down for that kind of thing. I'm always kind of down for that kind of thing in my TV shows. Honey Monster. Okay, I'm reading about your gig. I once showed up to play an event thinking my band only had to play 45 minutes as we were sharing the time with other band. No other band showed up, so we had to play over 4 hours of tunes. Oh, that's rough. I feel like something like that has happened to me. Filling up space like that. Oh, one time I played a show where the singer didn't. It was just me and the singer. Acoustic guitar and vocals. And then the singer didn't show up for like 45 minutes. So I just had to kill time on my acoustic guitar, which wasn't the end of the world. I mean, I'm competent enough that I can just kind of play around a little bit. And also that time I had quite a wide repertoire of acoustic guitar type songs. But man, that's rough. If you're not prepared for that, that is rough. Stephen Gagnon, cheers from Canada to you in France. Have I ever seen Chef? Not in person. Somebody says, someone said something about, what did they say? Something about Rory Gallagher. I get a lot of people asking about me, what I feel about Rory Gallagher. I mentioned last time on my live stream that I'm a big fan of Rory Gallagher. I believe I told the story about him. My dad, for whatever reason, he's got a bit of a following in Winnipeg, and one of the reasons, the abbreviated reason, is my dad was a big fan, and he worked for a radio station and would play Rory Gallagher a fair bit. So, personal connection with Rory Gallagher. Let's read some more comments here. Stratocaster or Telecaster? Depends on what I'm doing. Telecaster is my go-to just because my number one's a Tele, but there's a lot of times where I love busting out the Strat as well. Just kind of depends on what I'm feeling in the moment. What's the story behind my black bridge pin on the G string? I know that I have a bunch of, for whatever reason, accumulated a bunch of extra bridge pins for some reason, and then one time I lost the white one, it like fell under my bed, and so I just grabbed a black one and stuck it in there. So not the most interesting thing. Jacob says, please tell me about how to learn the voicings of acoustic chords. John Mayer's first album in particular. I was actually just listening to John Mayer's first album. I've learned some songs off that I can't remember off the top of my head, but okay, here, I'll tell you how to do it. You go and you learn one of the voicings. So whatever that happens to be, let's say it's just like an inversion of, I don't know, say a C chord. So you learn that inversion. I would jot it down on a piece of paper, analyze each note. This note's the third, this note's the fifth, this note's the first, this note's also the third. Write that down so you know how each note relates. And then whenever you play it, make an exercise. Play an entire song where you play the chords using that inversion. So instead of playing like C, G, A minor, F, like how we would think about how to play them, you could try playing it like... Oh, I ran out of space. I can't get up to this one up here. So I guess, yeah, that would be... I gotta think for a second. There it is. I probably should practice these as well. And then you kind of make an effort to get those voicings in your repertoire. And then when you go to just play guitar naturally, after you've practiced those things and made an effort to practice those things, they're going to come out naturally in your own playing. I hope that makes sense. Roy Buchanan, Danny again. Someone says, oh, you can't hear my guitar again. Oh, probably because I moved the microphone away. That's the problem with the acoustic guitar, is that I can't turn the volume up on the guitar. Like there's a microphone right here. Usually I would use an electric, but for the sake of time and the fact that I'm running short, I just decided to set up the acoustic. So my apologies if the audio is a little bit weird. Rory Gallagher is cool, but what about Roy Buchanan, Danny Gatton? I don't know a ton about Roy Buchanan, but Danny Gatton he's the telemaster, so I've listened to a lot of his stuff. He is so good. Tragic story, but man, that guy could play guitar. How many years have I been playing guitar? I started at age 13. I'm 29 now, so that would be 16 years. All right, let me browse down here. Do you think Eric Church will ever release anything as good as Chief again? Man, Chief is such a good album. Such a good album. That album made me realize that there can be some really cool stuff happening in mainstream country. Some of it is terrible and awful and makes me very unhappy to listen to. But when I listen to Chief, it's like, yeah, that's just good music that anybody can appreciate. Country fan or not, Chief is such a good album. Do I think he'll make one as good as that? I don't know. It's hard to say. Do you think John Mayer will ever make something on the level of Continuum? I guess it depends on your personal preferences. I think it would be tough. To me, that's pretty close to a perfect album. Alma Fitzpatrick says, what other instruments do I play? I really only consider myself a guitar player. I say I can play the guitar. I am very comfortable on guitar. I can speak my musical feelings through a guitar. I can hear something in my head and I can recreate it on a guitar. When I sit down to play a guitar, it makes the exact noises that I want it to make. No other instrument can I really do that on. However, I can fake it enough on, say, a banjo. I don't consider myself a banjo player, but I can kind of wing it a little bit. I can play a couple little things, and there's a couple things that I can mess around on. But I think of it as far as like I see the banjo like a guitar player. I see these as just like the bottom three strings on a guitar. And then this is the E string, but it's tuned down to a D. And then this one is just kind of the drone string. But I would never take a gig, or no, someone would never hire me to play a gig on banjo. That would not be a good idea, because I don't really play it all that well. And the same is true for like mandolin and, well, ukulele's pretty straightforward. But like mandolin, I can sit there and I can just like figure something out to play, but I can't like improvise on it or really do anything like that. Hello, Philip Zane. Hope you're doing well, man. Have you ever had a piece of equipment that you passionately hated, like pedal, guitar? Yeah, I'm sure that I have. The only thing that really elicits my deep hatred and just gets me so mad is like my computer. When my computer doesn't do something that I want it to do, or when technology doesn't do something that it should be doing, that just drives me absolutely bonkers. Just like little things like in Pro Tools, my editing software, that if there's just one weird little problem and I can't fix it, that drives me mental. As far as guitar stuff goes, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but there must have been something along the way that really annoyed me. What gig are you going on today? I'm going to play a wedding rehearsal. Lucky me. Honey Monster, thanks for stopping by, man. I can't stick around for that much longer either. Maybe 10 minutes or so. I wish I could stay around longer. Next week, I will be on here longer. I'd like to do these live streams every week. I'm going to try to do them every Wednesday for at least an hour. Today is a little bit of an exception because got to go to the gig. Do you have any advice for following chord changes in a jazz setting? Says Luigi C. Yes. I'm just trying to think of how to phrase it. Jazz is really tough. Jazz is tough because the chords are happening so quickly. Chords are happening so quickly, and you have to be like analyzing them and playing over top of them and relating to them. But the best thing you can do as a jazz musician is know those chords so well that when you're playing them, you don't even have to think about it. there's a couple jazz songs that I know really well. Not many. If I was a professional jazz musician, you need to know like 300 songs. There's like 4 that I could probably bust out at will. One of those is a song like Summertime. And when I play Summertime, I'm not even thinking about the chords. I'm not even thinking, oh, here comes a G minor. I've done the homework on that. I've practiced that song enough that I can just play it and I can hear it and I just know what's coming next. In the same way, if I play the blues, I'm not thinking to myself, okay, 4 bars of the 1 chord, okay, 2 bars of the 4 chord. No, I don't even have to think about that. And that's where you want to get at when you're playing over jazz chord changes. And the way you do that is just by listening to a song over and over and over again until you know it so well. Singing through the song helps. Trying to sing the roots of the song. Stuff like that. As well, if you do get lost, just try to look to the drummer or the bass player. And if somebody in the band knows where you are, they're going to try to help you get back on track. Jacob Grau says, what are your thoughts on teaching programs like Musician or Rocksmith? I just learned about Rocksmith, or not, I've known about it, but I tried it the other day for the first time. One of my students, he has Rocksmith, and we were jamming with it at his place. I think it could be really fun. I think it can be valuable in like getting your dexterity going on your fingers. But beyond that, for Rocksmith, I'm not sure that there's a ton of value besides just like getting you on guitar, and I think that's great. The only issue I had with Rocksmith was when I played it, like there was latency on the guitar, meaning like everything I played was delayed, and it thought that like a lot of the notes were wrong because it wasn't reading the guitar right. So that annoyed me. That could have been an easy problem to fix. Musician, I've actually just been in talks with Musician about doing some stuff through them. Within the next couple weeks, I'm going to be doing something with them, and it's very, very exciting, and I'm so pumped to bring it to you guys. It's one of those things where I'm sure that you guys will also be equally as pumped. It's one of those situations where everybody wins, and I'm very excited to work with them. I've got to spend a little bit more time on their platform to understand exactly what it offers, but from what I know, it's quite cool. And what I'm going to be doing with them is going to be very, very awesome as well. So, and also the people who work at Musician, just like really wonderful, cool guys who are just passionate about music and whatnot. Isaac says Rocksmith teaches nothing. I would agree that it doesn't teach anything as much as it just like gets your fingers, the dexterity on your fingers, which as a beginner guitar player can be a tough thing to do. Just feeling how to play a guitar, getting some of these patterns in your head, I think that's valuable. Or if you are a guitar player and you want to learn a couple songs, I think that can be great. But like the guys who I was jamming on Rocksmith with, he was like, as soon as I step away from Rocksmith, I can't remember any of that stuff. Lucas says he can't stand John Mayer's voice. I love John Mayer's voice. I don't like it as much in like the first couple records, because to me it was like he was doing that little airy thing, like where he's trying to like add a lot of like air into his voice, and I don't really like that sound, but I really like what he does now. All right, reading some more comments here. Thoughts on punk music? I mean, there's great stuff in it. There's stuff I don't like in it. I think it's what's cool is it's different. Punk music came along in the 70s, and it was just a reaction to all like the arena rock, the big spectacle that music had become, where a guy is playing on a stage with all these crazy theatrics, and they're playing super complicated music, and punk music was a direct reaction to that. And I like seeing those things in the music history. I think it's really fascinating. I don't love a lot of it. There is some stuff I really like. I very rarely would put a punk album on. NoFX is pretty cool. I grew up listening to them. Offspring, they have some cool stuff as well. Though I guess that's more pop punk, but I like NoFX. I don't know. I can find things I like in all music, and I can find bands and stuff I don't like in all music as well. Josh Maddox asked, am I a singer? Definitely not. I'm not going to be singing anything for you guys today. Maybe another day. It's not great. It's not a good thing when it does happen. I have an AT2020 on my acoustic guitar right now, which is the microphone. And this guy is an SM58 Beta. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. I'm sorry that I couldn't stay around for longer. I wish I could stream for hours and hours, but Like I said, gotta go to a wedding. Lucky me. All right, I'm gonna play something for you guys. What am I gonna play for you? Okay, I'm gonna try to do something I'm gonna have to play at this wedding. I probably should have prepared for this a little bit more, though it is only the rehearsal. I'll probably have to play a jazz song. Okay, I'm gonna try to play a song called "There Will Never Be Another You," a chord melody of it. We'll see how it goes. It might not go well. Just warning you. I haven't played this song for a while. This is my rehearsal for my wedding tonight. So here we go. Not my wedding, the wedding I have to go to. Yeah, I'll be able to wing that one. I feel like I should have spent some more time rehearsing for some of these things. Just like I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, I haven't played any of these songs for ages, but I'm sure they're in there somewhere. And I haven't done any preparing for this wedding, so I don't know. I'll be able to wing it. I'll just make it up. No one's even listening at those events anyway. Anyway, I'm gonna stick around for 5 more minutes, guys, and then I gotta get going. Someone says there was no sound. There for sure was sound. I think maybe you just have it on mute, my friend. Reading some comments here. I do have my guitar mic'd. Is it not plugged in? No, I mean, maybe potentially there's something going on with my audio capture device. It should be working. That's all I can tell you. Oh, maybe it's not. Hang on a sec. Maybe it is now. Wow. All right, that's on me. Sorry, guys. It was working before, I feel like. Maybe I was lying. Anyway, my apologies. I think you were right. That's how's that sound now? Yeah, I wonder what Oh, live streaming. There's always some sort of issue. I don't think I've ever had a live stream go off perfectly smooth. You guys should, if you were here for my very first one, you would have known what a mess it was. But so my apologies. That's on me. I guess maybe my audio capture device wasn't reading my third input, so what can you do? Such is life. Such is life. I'll play something. I'll play one more thing before I wrap things up. Devi, what was your question? Someone's saying I never answer his questions, and I want to make sure I do, but I don't see it anywhere. So there you go. I answered your question. I don't see them. That's the reason why I don't answer them. Someone says, "Oh, Debbie, how can I influence the sound of my band more?" That's a very tough question without knowing the exact dynamic in your band. You would have to. It's like communication goes a long, long way. Guys, I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and I am going to wrap it up here because, like I said, I do need to get going here. Can I play the... Nick says, can you play the shittiest possible Smoke on the Water cover? I did that one time. Watch my video that was entitled something like, I need to take a break from guitar. There is a pretty rough cover of a Smoke on the Water. Oh man, I just got a ton of questions. Yeah, here's the thing about this chat is like it comes in I think a lot later than you guys, or I'm at least reading it a lot later than it looks like I am. So I get these questions and I do try to respond to them. So I am, and there's also a lot. So if I could, I would love to respond to every single one. Mark Knopfler as an inspiration. Is there a Dire Straits song you could play? If I had my electric guitar, I'd be more keen on doing that. But since I've got the acoustic, I think I will maybe just play a riff or two. Is that it? Yeah, Sultans. Gotta love that one. Can you do a video how I can be a better guitarist? Yes, I have done one. It's called my entire Sensei series. Watch those videos. There's so much stuff there on how you can improve yourself. The tough thing is it's not easy. You got to spend time at it. And there's a lot of things to work on, and you have to kind of tailor your practice to what you want to do. Does where you're from influence your style and phrasing? I think to an extent, because naturally where you're from is where you're going to hear a lot of music based on, if I live in Egypt, I'm going to hear Egyptian influenced music more than I would if I live in the southern U.S. I'm going to hear a lot more country stuff. So I think it does, but at the end of the day, we can make the decision to listen to one style or another style, and because of that, you can really influence your own phrasing. Romero Peace, I do not know anything Tunisian. I'm sorry, man. I wish I did. I would play it for you. Can I give you life advice for overcoming anxiety and panic attacks? I would say my best advice for that would be to talk to a professional. I don't think I'd be qualified to give that kind of advice. Hello, Communisty. Thanks for swinging by, man. Greetings from California. Thank you for your videos. They have made me a better guitar, says Mario. Thank you for watching. I love California. I usually go there twice a year, but this time I'll only be there once a year. I would love to live there. It's very nice and warm, and whenever I go down in the winter, I'm living the dream. Which looper do I use, says Marcus? I use the RC20. Bye, Master H. Wilson. Thanks for swinging by, man. Night in Tunisia, says Romero Peace. Do I know the Dizzy Gillespie tune, Night in Tunisia? I don't think I've ever learned it. I know of the song. I would have to spend some time working on it if I were to actually play it. All right, guys, I'm going to play you one more song, and then I need to wrap this up because I got to get going, and I got a long drive to a place called Niverville, Manitoba. All I know about Niverville is Okay, hang on. What's going on with this? What's everybody talking about John Mayer here? I love John Mayer. I mentioned in my last video, he's one of my man crushes. Everything he does makes me, his guitar playing is amazing. He's the musical triple threat. Great songwriter, great guitar player, great singer. The kind of thing that one would strive to be, that one rarely gets to. Is that what you want to know? I'm not sure what you guys are asking. I also really, really enjoy his new album. I think it's the best one since Continuum, in my opinion. Josh, you must be from Winnipeg. Yeah, Niverville isn't that far away. I live downtown, though, so it takes a little while to get there. Callan, my man, yes, I did watch the Vaporwave video. I 100% did. I even commented on that video to let you know that if you ever go back to that video, I was there and I watched that video. I really enjoyed that video. I'm not exactly 100% sure why you wanted me to watch it, but I really enjoyed that video. I didn't really know a lot about what Vaporwave is, and so that was pretty cool to learn about it. I also thought, I haven't watched a ton of Adam Neely's videos. I thought it was awesome. I think I'm definitely going to be watching him more. So, yes, I did watch this video, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad you recommended it. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to play one more thing here, and then I'm going to wrap this up. This is a song called Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, one of my favorite songs of all time, and also one of my favorite songs to play. Thank you all so much for watching. You know who I am. I'm Samurai Guitarist. I'm going to play this, wrap it up. Thank you again for swinging by. I'll do this again next week, and I'm going to stick around for longer next week. I had to cut it a little bit short today, but next week I'll be here longer. I got a new video on Friday. What else do I need to tell you about? Got a new video on Monday. I just keep doing my thing. You guys do your thing. Here's one more song. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Oop. Thank you guys all so much. I'll see you again next time, and next time I'll also make sure that my guitar is mic'd up the entire time. See you guys.